Prismatic Evolutions has been out for over a week now, and I thought it would be fun to make a little tier list ranking all of the special illustration rares. Of course, there are plenty of Evolution SIRs in this set, but there are some other really nice artworks in there as well. So without further ado, let's get right into this. We've got 6 tiers here: the best, great, good, alright, bad, and garbage. We'll go through each of these one by one. We'll talk a little bit about the artwork on the card. As always, when I do these tier lists, unless specified, I guess, I'm rating these based off of the artwork, the Pokemon, just the card itself. The value does not matter. I'm not going to put the value in play for this. I do have another video going over the top 10 Prismatic Evolutions cards based on value. If you want to check that out, I'll put a card up here on the screen. So yeah, anyways, let's get right into this. First card we have is the Leafeon. The Leafeon is a really nice card. I'm going to try my best not to compare these to like the alternate arts or anything like that. It's going to be a little difficult with all these evolutions, but I'll try my best. Leafeon, I think it's nice. I like the color scheme to it, but I feel like there's something missing on it. I don't think it is the best by any means. It's a good artwork, but like I said, it feels like there's something missing. It's a little bit lackluster in my opinion. I think I'm going to put it for now at the top of good to kind of give us a middle ground, start off the tier list. It could go up, it could go down, we'll see. Now we've got an Ogerpon here, the Teal Mask Ogerpon. I feel like this is a little bit better than the one from Twilight Masquerade, but again, kind of silly, like simple artwork. I don't really love this weird coloring book style they had going on with all of these. I feel like, again, there's something better they could do with it. I'm going to have to put this one straight in garbage. It's terrible. The color scheme is ugly. If I pulled this card, I would be pissed. It's not worth going on this list. It's a waste of a spot in the special illustration rare. I'm pretty sure it's a playable card, but like, there's enough Ogerpons. We don't need another Teal Mask Ogerpon. Next up, we've got the Flareon. I think this is better than the Leafeon, like right away. I like this kind of weird fire ring thing it's running in. There's something cool about it. I don't really know what it is, but I like it a lot more than the Leafeon. I'm going to have to put this one in great. It might go up to best. I don't think it's the best of the set by any means, but it's really nice. Something about the artwork is really good. We'll throw it in great for now. Next up is the Ceruledge. I forgot this card even existed for the longest time, but it is a really nice card. I really like this artwork. It kind of reminds me of the Hydreigon from Surging Sparks, which is like easily in my top 5 SIR cards so far. I think this is better than both the evolutions we've seen so far. Really cool artwork. I like this like splatter thing that's going on in it. I want to put it at the top of great, but I might move it up to the best. We'll have to see. Next up, not going to waste any time. The contrast is really cool in this Ogerpon, but it is not that good. It's garbage. A little bit better than Teal Mask, but not by much. Next up is Vaporeon. The Vaporeon I like a lot more than the Leafeon as well. I like the little stained glass window thing that's going on in the background. I think it's a cool idea. I think it works pretty well. Again, I feel like there's something missing in this card. I feel like that's the case with a lot of these evolutions. Flareon's one of the only ones I feel like really is cohesive, I guess. I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to say, but Vaporeon does a good job, better than Leafeon. I'm going to put it in good though. It's just too much blue, too much navy blue. It's you kind of lose the Pokemon in the art a little bit. I guess that's kind of the idea for all of these, because with Glaceon you do as well. I like the symmetrical idea of the background. I think it does a really good job. I like that Glaceon's just smack dab in the middle of the card. I guess they all kind of are, but I think this one does a really good job. Again, not as cool as Flareon in my eyes, but we'll put it at the top of good. I'll keep it there. I feel like I might want to put it in great, but we'll see. Next up, we've got the Palafin. I think a lot of people like this card. I feel like it's not one that's really going to stand out like as the major card in this set by any means. I don't know. There's something about the artwork that I don't really like. I understand a famous manga artist made this card, which I think is a really cool idea. I'd say go for more of that. Have like, guest artists pop into the TCG. I think that's super cool. Throw their creative take on a Pokemon. But man, something about it, the eyes of Palafin, the colors, all the fists, like it's just too busy. It's a little bit like uncomfortable to look at. I don't really know the best way to say it, but man, I'm going to have to put this one in all right. It's cool, but I'm not going to go to my way to get this card. I wouldn't pick it up. Even if it was like $25, $20, I don't think I would scoop it up. Cool card. Again, we're not talking about the value too much here. Cool card, but like there's way better in this set. I think it's a good middle ground. Very creative. I just feel like it's just not it for me. Another Ogerpon. This one's probably even worse than the Teal Mask. Which one's this? The Wellspring, right? Yeah, Wellspring. Not a cool card at all. I really don't like this like weird green yellow background with the blue. Like they tried with the contrasting thing, the weird like cloud swirly thing, stars going on, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not good. Next up, Jolteon. I feel like Jolteon's artwork is pretty good. I want to say it's better than a few of these other evolutions. I don't think it's better than Glaceon though, so we're gonna have to put it between Glaceon and Vaporeon. I like in Jolteon cards when they do this like movement, like action type of artwork. Like you can tell the Pokemon is flying with the lightning coming out of it. It's moving into the foreground. Like from an artistic standpoint, they do a really good job. I do like the symmetry more in the Glaceon. The background of the Glaceon is really, really nice. It really stands out to me. But Jolteon, I think it's fine right there. You kind of lose a little bit of Jolteon in the background, but it's a nice card. Better than Vaporeon and definitely better than Leafeon. Iron Hands. Iron Hands looks really, really cool as well. I love the contrast of this card. The yellow outline around Iron Hands itself is really, really nice. It goes great to contrast against the purple and navy blue and pink. Like the hits of yellow and orange against all those dark colors in the background do a really, really good job. I think this card's super nice. I don't really care for Iron Hands as a Pokemon, like not much at all, but I think it is really good artwork. I think if it wasn't in an Eevee set, this would be really high up on the list. I'm going to put it above the Flareon. Now my favorite evolution, Espeon. The Espeon is cool. Again, I feel like there's something missing with it. I like the idea of it. I like the artwork. I like that it's not just like some stained glass background or like bold lines like the Leafeon's too heavy on the outline. I think being my favorite is going to make it stand out a little bit more, but the artwork, again, something left to be desired. I feel like it's just not as good as it could be. Like none of these, I said I wasn't going to say this, but like none of these cards really like hold a candle to the evolution alternate arts. Like even the Glaceon and the Leafeon from Crown Zenith I think are better than the counterparts in this set. Maybe they box themselves in with the whole like terraform thing going on where the Pokemon has to look like it's a gem. But I don't know. The Espeon is cool. It's definitely cool. I'm gonna put it. I like the colors. I like that it's like so much purple and pink. I'm gonna put it behind. I'm putting it above the Flareon. Flareon and I feel like they're on the same level, but I like Espeon more, so Espeon's going higher. None of these are best yet, by the way. I'm gonna have to shuffle this list around. I don't know what is gonna fit in the best. Like a lot of these artworks are really, really nice, but nothing is like standout best special illustration rare I've ever seen. Like maybe I'm just stuck on alternate arts. I don't know, but let's keep going with the list. We've got Sylveon next. Sylveon is nice. I like that there's some more contrast in this card. None of the other evolutions have had contrast yet. It's very much like green Pokemon on green background, blue Pokemon on blue background. Like it's just the same thing. Yellow Pokemon on yellow background. This one at least is blue and pink. It's got a lot of pink going on with it. The flowers are kind of nice. The bows framing it in are nice. I'm gonna put this one in the best. I think this is definitely better than the rest of the evolutions. I like it when they make a card nice and cohesive, like a very monochromatic color scheme, but I feel like there needs to be something, just a little bit of contrast in there. Like it's fine if you want to use a bunch of blues, but use something to make it stand out. And this card has a good balance of pink and blue. There's not a ton of blue, but it makes the pink pop out more in the foreground. So that's the best one so far. Next up, Iron Valiant. I really like this card. I think it's a cool concept. I don't know if I'd say it's better than the one from Paradox Rift by any means, but I think it is really nice. Kind of similar in idea to the Iron Hands, except the Iron Hands has more contrast, more going on with it. This is kind of a simplified front-facing version of it, I guess. I don't think it's special by any means. I would want to put it maybe right here, ahead of Jolteon in the middle of good. Behind Jolteon, I guess, ahead of Vaporeon in the middle of good. Next up, it seems like the counterpart to Iron Valiant is going to be Iron Crown. Same sort of thing. This is kind of giving me like a Tron vibe. It's got like a very grid background. The moon is still visible in this card, so it's a little bit similar to what they were kind of doing with the Temporal Forces special illustration rare. Again, not as cool. Like at least Iron Valiant has some more contrast in it. This card, the Pokemon kind of gets lost. The only thing that's really popping is the moon in the background and its little wing thing on its side. Feel like it's cool. It's a cool concept, but it could be a lot better. I want to put it in bad, to be honest. Is it bad? I'll put it at the bottom of all right. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not like anywhere near the Ogerpon level. But the next card might be probably one of the worst special illustration rares I've seen. I don't know if I would put it in garbage because at least there's something more going on with it, but it is a weird looking card. Sandy Shocks, it's got to go in bad. It might move to garbage. We'll have to see. I feel like they could do a lot more with Sandy Shocks. The SIR from Paradox Rift is way better. It's kind of got that flat like art style, which I don't like. But this one sort of does as well. It almost looks like, some sort of pencil crayon or crayon drawing. The browns, like really ugly. I feel like you could just do way better. So yeah, we're going to keep it there pretty low on the list. Next one, another low one. This is the worst card by far. Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pawn. It's brown on yellow. Like terrible, terrible idea. I get it. It's like a fighting type. It's like a rock, whatever, concrete thing. Cornerstone. It's a stone. But man, garbage card. Get these out of the set. Like these are holding the set back. It would suck so hard. Like people are saying, it's hard to pull these cards. You're spending $20 on packs if you're buying them on the secondary market, and then you pull some sort of just dog water card like this. Like, no way. I'd be rattled. I probably would not want to open much more Prismatic Evolutions after pulling a card like this. Next up is the new Umbreon. I don't know what everyone's going to call it. Moonbreon 2.0, Sunbreon, whatever it is. It's silly to be forcing a nickname onto a card. It's just the Umbreon. Of course, biggest card in the set, most popular card in the set, but that's because everyone loves Umbreon, and that's also because the Umbreon alternate art is just, the biggest card of the modern era. I don't like this card nearly as much as any other Umbreons from recent years. First of all, the background is like super busy. It's got a lot going on. I kind of understand the idea. I like the symmetrical aspect of it. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Like, man, I've been looking at this card for a while now. I can't tell what the hell Umbreon is standing on. I like the dark background, but like, I don't know. It's a nice card. I get people like it. I understand why, but to me, it's just not it. The Pokemon itself, like Umbreon, it just looks like you put the mosaic filter on Umbreon in Photoshop. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it misses the mark by quite a bit. I'd imagine the price is going to stay strong on it, though, because it's Umbreon and everyone's like trying to inflate value into Scarlet and Violet, which is fair. But man, I don't know. I do think it's better than some of the other ones because, like I said, it has some contrast, which is why I put Sylveon way higher. I wouldn't say it's better than Sylveon by any means. I also don't think I would say it's better than I also wouldn't say it's better than Cerulege. I'm gonna put it right there. It's in great. It's a cool card. Like I said, like I understand it. It's Umbreon. It's awesome. Whatever. But like I mentioned, it kind of missed the mark. I feel like there's more that could have been done with it. All right, now for Roaring Moon. I really love this Roaring Moon card. The artwork gives me some Legend of Zelda Wind Waker vibes, which I think is really, really cool. It's got that like sharp comic book kind of style. I like the details. Like there's a lot of detail, but the detail is like kind of subtle at the same time. They did a really good job on this card. They made a card with a lot of like brown, earthy colors look really good. And I gotta say, this is like my favorite card that we've looked at so far in the set. I would definitely put it up here. I'm a big fan of Roaring Moon. Something about Roaring Moon, like I think I mentioned this in another video, like Salamence is a really cool Pokemon. I've always liked Salamence, and I feel like this is one of the only Paradox versions of a Pokemon that is like way better than the original. Like Roaring Moon goes so hard. I think this is one of the coolest Pokemon, definitely coolest Pokemon in the last like couple generations. Really vibe with it. It's the best in my opinion. Next up, we've got Petulant. I'm not a big fan of this like simple thick line style. Like it, I think I said it was like a chibi style or something. I don't know. I don't really like this cutesy like bold bright artwork as much. I feel like there's more they could do with it. I do like the backgrounds. Again, a lot of these cards I like the backgrounds of, but I don't like the artwork as a whole. I like the weird purple jelly beans flying out. I like the, spade thing going on in the background. I like the yellow. I like the blue waves. It's cool. I just don't like Petulant slapped right in there. I do think it is better than some. I'm going to put it above Leafeon in good. Should I put it there? I don't know. I don't really give a shit about Petulant as a Pokemon. I feel like I'm not the only one saying that, but the artwork is cool. If we're going based on artwork, it's better. No, it's not better than Leafeon. We'll put it at the bottom of good. Next up is Golden Go. Golden Go looks really, really cool as well. Again, contrast is super good. I like the city in the background, all the coins. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of that first level in Sonic Adventure 2 when you're riding that plane piece like it's a snowboard through the city, giving me very, very similar vibes. That's like, one of my favorite games of all time. Golden Go, don't really care for as a Pokemon G-String man, but this artwork is really cool. I like that simple background. That's a really cool texture kind of idea they got going on there. The city is a nice little add-on too. I feel like they didn't need to do that, but It makes the bottom left there a little more cohesive, keeps it balanced really well. I'm gonna put this one in great. I think it's great artwork. Again, I think if it was in any other set, it would do really, really good. I feel like I'm shitting on the EVs a little bit here, but is what it is. I don't mean to. All right, now we got Dracopult. Dracopult is super cool. I like this card. They did really good with the whole gemstone Terra thing going on. They made it work really well without it being, distracting or whatever. It fits really good with the background. One of the best Terra SIRs they've done, in my opinion. I think it's really, really nice. Color scheme's really good. Pokemon is cool too. I'm gonna put it above the Flareon there. I think it checks like all the boxes for me. I wouldn't say it's like the best by any means. Like I wouldn't pay the price it's at right now, 115 bucks. I don't think so, but if I found a real minty copy for like 50, 60 bucks, I'd probably pick it up. Next up is Raging Bolt. Again, pretty similar to the Roaring Moon. I don't like Raging Bolt nearly as much as a Pokemon, but I think this artwork is still pretty cool. Again, I like the subtle details on it, like the shading in his mane or whatever, the cloud around his neck. I think is really nice. Just the simple, sleek lines for the shading. The background is pretty nice on this one too. Like, it does a good job. I like that it's just not like a smaller Pokemon slapped smack dab in the middle of the card. You've kind of got some motion, some action going on there. I think they did a pretty good job with this. Again, not my favorite Pokemon. It's probably better than Petrant though. The artwork in Petrant is like surprisingly nice. Like from a distance, it looks really good. But anyways, we'll put it there. Again, don't really vibe with Raging Bolt all that much. I think they did Raikou a little dirty, just extending his neck and turning him into like a giraffe cloud lightning thing. But the artwork is good. I think they did a pretty good job on it. Next up, Eevee. I don't know if I like this Eevee more than the promo one that's coming out. We're not going to talk about it on this list yet. But this Eevee, kind of cool. You kind of lose Eevee in the artwork a little bit. Too basic color scheme. Like it's very light browns, pastel-y. Like not my vibe. I think I've said this before. I kind of like cards with like a good hit of contrast, and I like kind of the darker themed cards. Like Roaring Moon, you've got the red wing standing out. The red and blue stands out real nicely on that brown background. Sylveon, the pink and blue just work wonders together. I think I'm gonna have to put this one in great. I think it's better. No, it's not better than. I'm gonna move Glaceon up. Yeah, I think it's there. I'd put it behind the Jolteon. Like it's cool, but it's just not my cup of tea by any means. All right, now a Pokemon I don't care for in the slightest bit, but this card really wowed me. I think it is one of the nicest cards. Like that Blood Moon Ursaluna from I think it was Twilight Masquerade is terrible. I think it is like not it. I don't vibe with the card in the slightest bit, but this card goes so hard. The Blood Moon from Prismatic Evolutions is one of the most like menacing, badass looking Pokemon cards. I said that about the Galarian Moltres before from Chilling Reign. I think that is like probably the most badass Pokemon card they've ever made. And I think this one is up there as well. I want more cards like this. This is like my cup of tea. This is what I would like to collect. I really like the smoke coming out of its mouth, like blowing smoke, it's breathing smoke, like the Blood Moon in the background. Like, dude, this card looks so good. I'm gonna put it in best. I would rather pull this than Sylveon. I'd rather Roaring Moon because I like Roaring Moon as a Pokemon more, but Blood Moon, like, dude, the shading, I love the arts. I'm not like the biggest fan of this art style. Like, there's not really any line works. It's just heavy shading on different shapes. But dude, like, it works so good on this card. This is one of the nicest SIRs I think I've ever seen. Next up is the Terapagos. I like this more than the Stellar Crown Terapagos, but again, I don't have any, relationship to Terapagos as a Pokemon. I don't really care about Terapagos. It's kind of just like a sea turtle cockroach thing, right? Like, interesting idea. Not for me. I think this artwork is pretty good though, but again, it's like I feel like they tried really hard. I like the rainbow stars. I like that the gems are super big. I just don't think it's really it. I want to put it maybe there. It's a nice card in terms of there's a lot of cards that are just a lot of blue in this set. Lots of blue, but whatever. It's good. It's not great by any means, but it's good. Middle of the pack, I think, is fine. Now we got a bunch of garbage here. All the trainers. We're ending on the trainers. I think you guys know where this is going to go, but we're going to modify this list, I think, a little bit after we get these on here, so stick around for a few more minutes. These are a bunch of cards that you would probably be not stoked on if you pulled. We're going to start with, what is this, Amaris? Terrible card. Don't like it at all. Don't care for it. I feel like the art style kind of works on some of these. Crispin is okay. Okay, that's not the worst card in the set by any means. we'll put it here. I do like this. What is it? The Flame Ogre Pawn. I think it's definitely better than the rest of them. So it's definitely better than Amaris as well. Crispin, I think, is better, but still not good. At least in that one, you've got the hair. You know, the reds kind of work with the background. I like this idea of like it's almost like a Polaroid, but your subject, like the trainer, is kind of in the foreground. It's above the background. Like there's some nice depth going on. I just feel like it doesn't really work that well. You got Drayton. Drayton works a little bit better. Still not great, but you know, at least his pants match a little bit. I think Lacey works quite a bit better. I guess we'll skip these two. We'll go to Lacey. I'm looking at it on another list here, but Lacey is bad, but the best of these bad ones. Maybe I'm gonna move this one up as well. It's the best of the garbage, so we'll put it there. Next up, we've got Janine. Don't care about Janine really at all. We're gonna put this one. It's better. Okay, it's better than all of these. It's all right. It's all right. It's better than that. From an artwork perspective, it's good. Same with Kieran. I think they're both. I mean, Kieran's probably better, but at the same time, I don't really care about these trainer cards. I know they need to be in here, but we'll put Kieran in all right as well. Like they could have chose better trainers. They could have made better artworks. I like what they tried with the Lacey and the Drayton here, but it just missed the mark a little bit. So yeah, I think garbage is okay. Let's modify this list a little bit here. Garbage is okay. You know what? I think I'm going to move this down to the bottom of garbage. Bad. I want to move this one to bad. All right. I think that's fine. You know what? We'll do that. That's all right. That's all right too. We'll do that. Okay. We're shifting things around here. Petron is the best of all right, I think. Good. We got a few different evolutions. Raging Bolt, Iron Valiant. I think that's fine. Iron Valiant's pretty cool. I think I'm happy with the great tier. I don't know if I would maybe shift anything around. Like Iron Hands is good there. The artwork on Iron Hands goes hard, even though Iron Hands isn't like anything special. Is Umbreon better than Ceruledge, though? I mean, is it? I don't know. I don't know. I like Ceruledge. I think I'd obviously be more stoked to pull Umbreon just because of the value behind it, but it's hard to ignore the value when pulling cards, especially these days when it's just value, value, value. And I mean, my YouTube channel, like, the whole idea of my content is to talk about the numbers, the market, you know, the value of cards, the value of sets, whatever it is. Um, should put Umbreon at the top of great. It's definitely not the best, Umbreon. I think those guys are tied. Umbreon and the Ceruledge, I think that's fine. And our best, Sylveon, Blood Moon, and Roaring Moon. I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. So yeah, that's going to be my list, guys. Let me know in the comments below why I'm wrong for not putting Umbreon at number 1 on this list. I just feel like it's not that good. Let me know as well. I want to make a tier list or some sort of ranking system. I want to rank all the alternate art evolutions, the special illustration rare evolutions, those like alt art promo evolutions, the Galarian Gallery ones, also the promos from the Sun and Moon era. I think they had that Espeon Deoxys and Umbreon Darkrai or something like that, maybe. I should know this. I've got copies of those cards. But anyways, do you guys like the idea of doing a tier list going over all the different evolution artworks of the last few years, like the modern, alternate art, SIR kind of artworks? I feel like it'd be fun to rank those. I feel like the alternate arts are a lot better than the SIRs, but let me know in the comments below as well while you're at it. Like, what do you feel about that? Do you love these SIRs? I know these crowns have grown on people, but I still feel like it's a little bit distracting, and it kind of boxed them in a little bit, needing to make these Pokemon look like crystals. Again, I don't think they're bad by any means. They're just not as good as others have been. All right, guys. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys can open up some Prismatic Evolutions in the future and pull some of these amazing cards. And again, we'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace!